I've listened and I've been very attentive for the last 3 days, and I think I've also been an active participant. I essentially came here wearing the hat of the Kenya Editors Guild. As you may know, the editors are the gatekeepers of the media. Louder. They are the gatekeepers of the media. They decide what goes in and what does not go in. They determine the trajectory of the story because they add value or they can subtract. They can even kill. We shall call it spiking. But I would have just, this is basically what I want the takeaway on behalf of the guild, of the Editors Guild. We accept and we agree that there is a handicap in terms of training and understanding of the complex issues such as the ones that we have discussed in this particular 3-day conference. So I really appreciate the partnership that we have had with the organizers of this particular conference. I rarely sign up to such but this one, when it came onto my mail, I remember filling the entire invitation and the questionnaire that was on, because this is a matter that is really at the heart of the guild, especially on financial reporting on this kind of things. So I will maybe ask, I don't know, the liaison person. I will advise that majority of those who have attended here today, I can see, are actually reporters. We were lucky to hear from some of the people I remember I trained, like Waihiga, I trained him. John Allen, a very resourceful journalist that I worked with for many years. But those are just a few. We need more training. And then, because we realize that there's a lot of turnover in the media houses, especially the legacy media houses. There's a lot of turnover. People don't last long. So it means we need that constant training so that we can have a pool of well-resourced and knowledgeable journalists who can deal with this issue. Then also, this conference, I've seen mostly reporters. I would suggest moving forward, if time and maybe resources allow, can we have such a meeting or such a conference with the editors? Because editors also, they make very far-reaching decisions, but sometimes those decisions are made out of lack of proper knowledge. So they also need that kind of training. So perhaps if you could reach out to the Kenya Editors Guild through mechanisms that I can suggest to you, and then maybe that's maybe my recommendation for today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I've seen a question here.
Thank you very much. My name is Nyaga Stephen. First, let me take this opportunity to thank the conveners of this conference, that is Action Aid, AfroDad, and the and the Oxfam. And this conference, the Pan-African Media Conference, couldn't have come at a better time. I believe it's a time when we are talking about the integration of the African continent. And with the advantage of technology and a very vibrant young population, we have what it takes to take the continent forward. At this point in time, when we are talking about the way forward, I would like just to suggest that we can think about partnerships, networking, and collaborations going forward, and how we can have more of these now kind of conferences at the county levels. I've been following since we started, that is 2 days ago, and the discussion, what has been the common running across. We've been talking about issues to do with the public debts, and this has been an issue that has been coming across in other African countries that has been participating. So I believe we can take the discourse a notch higher by engaging and building capacity at the community level, where we can reach at the Miriams, as the Madam Susan was talking about yesterday, because we don't just need to leave this conversation just at this point, at this level, but I believe this is a very good starting point. So I believe that through innovations and creativity, by use of social media, use of artists, and the other radio platforms, and also television, we'll be able just to create that awareness and disseminate information at the community level. And this is going just to help us achieve the Pan-African dream as we move forward. And I also believe, as a summit up, that we also need just to actively engage other regional, continental, and even global debates that are happening, especially when you talk about, the people, the African people, maybe intellectuals or media and leaders who are also calling for the cancellation of debts. We need to join that conversation in a very constructive way, so that at least we are able to safeguard our interests and our future. So I really want to thank everybody who came here, who participated. I've been here since the first day. I have learned a lot, and I believe that as a way forward, practically through the networks of my friends, I'm in the academia, and I'm also involved a lot with a lot of youth programs. Just as I say that I'm an independent consultant on youth mainstreaming and local governance. There are other platforms that I would still want to engage and just talk to other young people, those who are also very much active on the other media platforms, so that we can still keep the debate going on. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello.
Good evening to each and every person who's seated in this room and the ones following us virtually. My name is Mulure Mike. I'm a founder and director of an independent media production company called Black Boy Media. We deal so much with young people. And I think as I've sat here over the last 3 days, one of the first things I'd like to do is to thank the people who is together. I think that has been said. But in a very special way, listening to people from different parts of the continent has really given hope that all of us are going through the same challenges. All of us are acknowledging that there is a problem. All of us are accepting that journalists have a responsibility to tell these stories. But we are also aware that there are risks with the profession of journalism. But I think one of the key things I'd want us to leave this place is what happens next, because all of us are singing the same tune. All of us are saying the same thing. This debt situation needs to be addressed. And unless the citizens become louder and push their leaders to be more accountable, we will keep having these conversations for years to come. So my quick 3 points were like, Africa is a very young continent, looking by the age of the population. It means as the debt increases, the generations that are coming from behind us become more burdened. And it's high time they took part in the conversations that we are having here. For such a long time, people have always believed that young people like entertainment and not governance and serious conversations. So how do we involve the younger generation in governance conversations? And I think I like what Maya said in terms of how do you tell the stories. I like her show, Money Daily, because it took us from the traditional stock market conversation on business news to the day-to-day life of an ordinary citizen, on how is that business conversation affecting your life. And I think that the same way we need to break down this story on debt and sustain it in a way that it will become a personal responsibility on each and every citizen of this continent. And finally, to the people who put this conference together, our desire as independent players is also that you look at the alternative media. Right now, social media has really picked up, and people are using social media to communicate. A lot of entertainers have emerged, especially since COVID, where a lot of our populations discovered that there is so much content online. How can we take advantage of that to also push this governance and conversations such as this ahead? And finally, I'm hopeful. I leave this place hopeful, looking at the entire African continent, reading from the same page, talking about the same thing. And the challenge we give each other as journalists is, what do you leave this place with as an individual? Beyond the conference, beyond everything that has been said, beyond all the presentations and slides, what difference are you going to make in your individual space? Thanks.